And that's the intention that we're going to set for today as well. Start to find your breath wherever you're at on your mat. Begin to settle into the space of your body first. And feel the breath move through your body like a wave. Starting low and slow, let the breath fill you as if it were a wave reaching a peak. And then as you exhale, with no real direction or effort, just let the breath fall away. Let it crash over your body, softening and grounding. And let the breath continue in this way. Make sure you're in a position in your body where you are able to receive your breath. And as we meet together in this community, in this essential community, acknowledge exactly where you are today. On your mat, in your house, in your yard, with all of us. And breathe in. Let the breath pull in through the nostrils and let it run down the back of the throat into the chest and the ribs and the belly and fill all the way up. Receive the breath fully and exhale. Look for the tension as it melts away from the body and notice the tension leaving. And every inhale, we pull in, we fill up, and we receive the breath. And every exhale, we watch the tension leave the body. As you stay with the breath, take a moment to bring into your mind any stories, any fears, any thoughts that you've created as a framework for where we are in our lives right now. And intend over these next 60 minutes to set that aside and to let them go. To reframe how you are, who you are, and how you feel in this moment. And know that right here and right now, you are okay. Make your way into downward facing dog. At the top of your mat, the hands go, and at the back of your mat, your feet. If you're new to this practice, I welcome you. Take your time, just feel your body, and try not to attach to perfection, but rather just connect to your body any way that you can. Begin to pedal out your feet, lower your heels and lift them. If your heels don't touch the mat, that's okay. Keep your knees nice and bent. And push your hands deeply into your mat. And as you push your hands into your mat, watch your chest move towards your thighs more. Walk your hands all the way back to your feet, nice and slow. Let your feet ground into the earth. Lift all of your toes and then lay them back down on the mat one by one. And feel your entire foot push into the mat. So you'll feel literally your toe tips grip. Now find ragdoll pose. Grab your outer elbows. Let your head drop. Let all of the facial muscles release. Jawbone. Sway your body just a little from side to side. And roll your body up to stand at the back of our mat and sweep your arms up overhead. Breathe in and span the fingers wide, lift the heart, push into the feet, and exhale right back down into forward fold. Bend your knees so you can lift your tailbone up to the sky. Now walk your hands forward and come into high plank pose. And in high plank pose, push deep into the mat, drop your tailbone towards your heels and pull the ribs in. Now take a big breath and feel your shoulder blades reach from east to west. Exhale into downward facing dog. Wave forward into high plank, curl your tailbone, move through the spine. Shoulders come right over wrists and downward facing dog. One more time, wave forward into high plank. And on this round, lower your knees and gently release your body all the way down to the mat, trying to pin your elbows into the sides of your waist. Now come into seal pose or spider cobra. Tent your fingertips, flip your toes over and push into fingertips, toes, and hips. Curl the chest upright and broaden again east to west. Breathe in. Breathe out, lower the body all the way down. Maybe reposition your fingers and play around with placement here. Maybe slide fingers back just a touch. Curl up with the chest. Take a breath in. Stay in the hips and in the toes and in the fingertips. And release all the way down. Breath out. Let's take one more. Breath in. That nice big seal pose. Shoulder blades hug and pull in and down the back. Exhale, lower all the way back to your belly. Gaze goes down. Plant your palms under your shoulders and come into a plank pose on the knees or on the toes. Move into downward facing dog. Really stretch your hips up and back. Push the hands down and forward and find that length in the torso. Walk your body, your feet forward to the top of your mat. Lift halfway and extend your spine. And forward fold all the way in. Now roll your body up to stand. Breathe in, sweep the arms overhead, interlace your fingers, and tilt your body up and over to the right. You can grasp your left wrist with your right hand, or you can keep your fingers interlaced. You can also lower your right arm for a little more space right around the neck. And as you bend over to the side, pull the core in and push deep into the feet and take your gaze up under the left armpit. Come all the way back upright. Reach up with the right fingertips. Lift out of the pelvis and then come up and over towards the left. Again, lowering left arm if that suits. With all of your might, squeeze your belly. So really try to activate your core. Push down into your feet, hug your core in, and take your gaze under right shoulder. And come all the way back up with left fingertips. Inhale, big breath, and exhale, forward fold all the way down. Inhale, lift halfway. Bring your body into that L shape, into that half lift. Pull the belly up and in. Exhale, forward fold. Now step back into your high plank pose. And stick with me here as we're going to do a variation that we did yesterday. Breathe in across the chest And on your exhale, tap your right knee to your right elbow, and then your left knee to your left elbow. Your right knee to your right elbow, and your left knee to your left elbow. Downward dog. Lift your heels high and start to walk forward to the top of your mat. Take a halfway lift and forward fold, Uttanasana. Roll your body up to stand, stack your shoulders over your hips, sweep your arms wide. Inhale, upward mountain, extended mountain. Exhale, forward fold, bend your knees, touch the mat, and let the head release. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Step into high plank. Now big breath in. Start with the left knee this time. Elbow tap to knee, elbow tap, and elbow tap, downward facing dog. Now as you get more warm, you can do the knee taps, the mountain climbers, followed by a vinyasa. Otherwise, stay with me to build that core strength and just stick with those mountain climbers today. Walk your feet forward to the top of your mat. Take your time. Lift halfway. Big breath in. Big breath out, forward fold. Roll your body up to stand. Come all the way upright. Inhale, lift the heart, push into the feet. Broaden. Exhale, forward fold. Hips up, feet down. Lift halfway, inhale. Step back into high plank, exhale. Now breath in to prepare. Mountain climber, right, left, left. Take a vinyasa if you want, and move into downward facing dog. Lift your heels high, walk forward to the top of your mat. Lift halfway, think about creating a straight spine, pulling the ribs in. Exhale, forward fold, release. One more. Inhale, rise up. Reach the arms towards the sky. Root a little more deeply through the feet. Exhale, forward fold. Lift halfway, inhale. Step back into high plank, exhale. Now prepare. Left knee, left elbow, right to right, left and right. Go ahead and take that vinyasa or stay with me, building strength in your belly. And everybody move to downward facing dog. Take your hands and press them more deeply into your mat. Spread the web of your fingers and see if you can feel your fingertips grip the earth. Take a big breath. And as you exhale, walk forward to the top of your mat. Take your feet hips distance apart. Sit your hips back for chair pose, a wide chair pose. Bring your arms over your shoulders and extend your fingertips overhead. So our body, our torso here is in a nice long shape. Try to draw the thumbs back and inner spiral your back shoulders. So think about pulling and spiraling your back shoulders back. Take a big breath. And as you exhale, ground deeper into your feet. One more big breath here. Forward fold, exhale. Lift halfway, inhale. Step back into high plank, exhale. We'll tap those knees and elbows together for the mountain climbers 4 times. Take a vinyasa or stay with me. And then move into downward facing dog. Lift your right leg, float it behind you. Inhale, 3-leg dog. Exhale, step between your hands for low lunge. Ground your back heel on the angle. Rise, inhale, warrior 1. Settle on your exhale. Good. Take your hands down to the mat, step back, and take those mountain climbers. 4, 3, 2, stay with me or move to chaturanga. Move to upward dog and to downward dog. Lift your left leg and float it behind you. 3-leg dog. Inhale. Step between your hands. Exhale. Back heel grounds. Inhale, warrior 1. Settle on that exhale. Hands come to the mat. Step back to high plank and find that vinyasa flow. Again, yogi's choice, using a mountain climber option here or sticking with chaturanga, up dog, down dog. Meet together as a class in downward facing dog. Now in down dog, bring your mind to your outer arms, your outer waist, your outer hips, and narrow everything. So hug everything in. And then walk your feet forward to the top of the mat. Continue to narrow on the way up. Now sit low, bringing your feet just a little bit closer together. Sweep into chair pose. Inhale. Exhale, sink a little more deep. Sweep your arms behind you, airplane behind your back. Reach your fingertips towards the rear wall behind you or the back of your mat. Inhale, arms sweep forward and over the shoulders. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Step back and move into those mountain climbers or take a flow. So if you're new or if you have low back pain, the mountain climbers are a better option for you. Take time to build that core strength, that stability in your body, and then we'll meet in downward dog. Float your right leg behind you, inhale. Step between your hands, low crescent or low lunge, exhale. Warrior 1, rise and grow, belly to fingertips, get tall. Settle on your exhale, push into your feet. Hands come to the mat, high plank pose. Take those core exercises or take the vinyasa. Maybe start to incorporate some twisting if you're moving through your mountain climbers. Downward face dog. Left leg lifts, inhale. Step between your hands, exhale. Warrior 1, inhale. Settle on your exhale. Hands come to your mat, inhale, last round, and take the flow or take your mountains. And again, try the twist maybe as an alternative, moving through some of that good spinal rotation. Downward dog. Settle into the breath. And then lower the knees all the way down to the mat. And we're going to come to the forearms as an option A. Take your palms together and sit your hips back to your heels for a modified puppy dog pose. Forehead towards mat, fingertips towards sky. You can also come into Anahata pose, arms over shoulders, forehead to mat, hips high over knees. And breathe across the opening of that upper back. Hold here for 5. Hold for 4. Hold for 3. For 2. Good. And slowly slide back into tabletop pose. Take your right arm up to the sky. Stretch wide and broad with the fingertips. Sweep the right fingers through the gate of the left wrist and knee. Come into thread the needle. Push deep into your palms and slide your left hip crease back. You can use your thumb to hook around that left hip crease to hold it there. Or you can use your muscles to hold it there and take your left arm overhead, lifting the belly and really activating that long spine twist. Big breath. Now take your left hand and pull it back by your face. Push into it to bring yourself all the way back up into that open face. Big stretch. And take your right hand to the mat. Left palm all the way up, open wide, spread across the collarbones. Sweep under yourself. Take thread the needle facing the right. Once again, you can take your right thumb and hook around your right hip crease. Feel the space being created as you breathe. Right hand plants. Come all the way open with that left shoulder and arm into open face twist. Reach and grow and come into tabletop. We're going to find downward dog. Take your right leg and just bring your mind to it. Float your right leg high and open up your hip. Take hook dog. As you open up your hip, keep your hands square, shoulders square. Roll the left ribs in just a touch and breathe. Keep peeling the outer right knee towards the sky. And you can even take a couple of really big hip circles here if that suits, or you can also take a flip dog. Take a couple more where you are if you're in hip circles before going the other way. And you don't want to lose that stable foundation of the shoulders as you take those hip circles. Now, if you're in flip dog, come back around and everybody square your hips to the mat. Lift your right leg behind you for three-leg dog. Step your foot between your hands and walk both hands to the inside of the right foot for lizard lunge. Now, walk the right foot a little bit to the right. And then from there, we're going to do what's called packing our shoulders. Slide our shoulder blades down and narrow them in towards your spine. And you might feel a little more tightness in your hips, but that's okay. Just come out of your stretch a little bit. Stay grounded in your back knee and stay grounded in your front foot and breathe. And start to let go of that tension around your hips and just feel the breath dance around the outer thigh, maybe even your hamstrings a little bit. Stay here for about 3 more counts. Soften your gaze. And again, notice where the breath goes. Notice the sensations that you feel in your body. And even more subtly, notice the thoughts that float through you. Now walk your hands back around your front foot to frame your front foot. Lift your back knee by curling toes under and straightening back thigh. Up for crescent warrior. Bring your arms over the shoulders and settle into crescent warrior lunge. Good. Inhale. With the arms overhead, take 1 lunge. Exhale, hover your back knee off the mat about 1 inch. Inhale, straighten the back thigh. And exhale, bring hands to heart and twist towards right, anchoring left elbow over right knee. Now, always the option here to take your back knee down. Hold for 5. Now, yogis, notice where the tension is lying in the body, and if it's up in the neck or in the gaze, try to draw it down and use that tension productively in the core. Activate your belly. Come back to crescent warrior lunge. If you're on your back knee, that's okay. You can come into low crescent. And we will meet in warrior 2. Lift your back thigh if you're on the ground and everybody spiral open. Virabhadrasana, second warrior. Now push down with your feet. So when you properly push down, you'll feel a lift of your pelvis. So there's an opposing energy there. Push down so far into the feet that you can't help but lift your pelvis a little bit. And let that action stay present. And then if you can deepen your stretch, go for it. But otherwise, Continue to press down into the feet. Hold your gaze over your middle finger and take a full breath in. As you exhale, tip forward out of the right hip crease and lightly lay your right elbow on your thigh. Take your gaze to your big toe and take your left arm over your shoulder. Inhale. As you exhale, peel open towards your left, spinning the left shoulder over right. Good. Now you're still light in that bottom elbow. Take your gaze back to your toe. Your shoulder will follow your gaze. Square your shoulders forward. Warrior two. Left arm sweeps down and around, and we lift the right arm. Take a breath. High plank pose. Cartwheel your hands down to the mat and step into high plank. Now, again, if you're new to the practice or you're feeling a little less intense today, go ahead and lower those knees. Tuck your tailbones so that your hips are in a straight line with your chest. Otherwise, hold for 5. Pick up the weight of your body with your belly by rolling and knitting the ribs in. Hold for 4. Brace your center body. Hold for 3. Hold for 2. Downward face dog on 1. Push into the feet. Let the feet ground like cement. Walk your feet forward to the top of your mat. Inhale, chair pose. Drop those hips low. Sweep arms overhead and settle. Now be strong and resolute in your lower body. Draw your outer hips back, your outer thighs back, and spin your inner thighs down. 1 breath here. 1 exhale. And forward fold, release. Step back into high plank. Take a vinyasa or take those mountain climbers, maybe a couple twisting mountain climbers, yogi's choice, and then move towards downward dog. Lift your left leg behind you, float your thigh. Stay grounded into your palms and open up your hip, hook dog. Pull your left heel towards your left butt cheek. Open up the left knee towards the left. Now a little more of a refining cue, a subtle cue. Tuck your tailbone slightly and push into your left palm. And feel that energy lift in the pelvis. And then of course you can take those hip circles or that flip dog, whatever you did on the right side. Stay strong in your breath, and if you need to rest, just come out and then get right back in when you are able. Hip circlers, go the other way. If you're in flip dog, come back to 3-leg dog with the left leg floating. Everybody, let's meet here. Square your hips and step your foot between your hands. Lizard lunge. Lower your back knee down and walk both hands to the inside of your left foot. Left foot goes left. Now narrow your outer hips. So again, it's the same thing as in that warrior. There's a lifting of the pelvis as you engage the muscles that surround you. Narrow your shoulders and draw your shoulder blades together, and then let that breath soften your outer left hip. Maybe go to the forearms or lower if you have that movement in your body today. Stay in the breath. Now very carefully reframe your front foot. We're going to lift the back knee by curling the toes under. Lift the back thigh first. Push into front heel and rise for crescent warrior. Always in yoga, securing whatever's touching the mat first, and then build your pose from there. Now take a big breath in. Reach up and grow. We're going to hover back knee one time. Exhale, lower. Keep your hips squared. Straighten the back leg. Inhale, stay low in the front thigh. Exhale, tip forward and rotate to your left. Right elbow anchoring over left thigh. Now find the steadiness and feel the steadiness of your body. And then feel the lightness, the softness of your breath. Stay soft in the mind, stay firm in the body. We're going to make our way into Warrior Two. Come all the way up and around, spin open and land. Now yogis, I'm going to actually turn myself around facing the other way. Stay where you are. Stay where you are. Firm in the lower body. Get warrior-like. This is a time in our collective community, our global community, where we all need to have a little fortitude, a little more strength than we're used to. So take a big breath and lean into the heat of the leg. Now as you exhale, tip over left hip and lightly place left elbow on thigh. Take your gaze to your left big toe and take your right arm over shoulder. Breathe in. As you exhale, spiral open, stacking right shoulder over left. Continue to push into your back foot. Breathe across the body. Gaze towards big toe. Sweep right arm down by hip. Find Warrior Two. Breath. High plank pose. Take your hands down to your mat and find high plank. Hold here for 10. Lift your heels high, but push through the back of the heel. Pull those ribs in. Push the floor away. Maintain sturdiness, steadiness, even intensity, even adversity, but become a little more full with the softness of your breath. Downward facing dog. Hips up and back. Push deep into those palms. Now lift your heels high. You can step walk or jump to the top of the mat. Inhale, chair pose. Sit low, sink low, arms over shoulders. Sweep your arms behind you for airplane arms. Interlace your fingers and open the chest, but get a little lower in that hip, in that chair. Now hug your inner thighs together and release the palms, lift your heels, and find balance. That teetering feeling. As we tip over and we feel like we're gonna fall forward, focus on reaching your sitting bones back and a little bit up and scooping from the inside the muscles right between your hip bones. Now lower your heels, rise all the way up, touch the palms overhead, extended mountain, and bring your hands down to your heart. Circle wide, arms down by body, down by hips, sweep out and up with the fingers. Forward fold, release. Halfway lift, inhale. We're gonna step or jump back, chaturanga, exhale. Now you should be nice and ready for those chaturangas. Come to cobra or upward dog. And if you're in upward dog, push into the toes, flex the thighs and lift your outer hips up. Downward facing dog. Lift your right leg long behind you, inhale. Cheetah, knee to nose, exhale. Right leg long behind you, inhale. Cheetah, knee to nose, exhale. Now stop here. Look forward and kick your foot between your hands. Rise for warrior two. Take your time. Stay firm in those legs in that warrior two position. Inhale. On exhale, tick-tock to the back of your mat. Turn toes and land in warrior two. Inhale, lift. Tick-tock to front of mat. Inhale, lift. Tick-tock to back of mat. Try to avoid shooting those shoulders forward. Keep them over the pelvis and move in length and strength in the lower body. One more time. Inhale. Exhale, warrior two. Back to the front of your mat. Now tip back for peaceful warrior. Lift up and out of the pelvis. Grow here. Big breath. We're coming into side plank. Cartwheel your hands down to your mat. We're going to balance on the left arm. Step back into high plank. Spin both heels to your left. Now, for those of you who are new or haven't been to yoga in a while, let's go down to the knee. Hold here for 10. Now, if you're on the knee, see if you can hover your bottom arm and really work into the muscles of the side waist. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Now come to high plank. Don't go anywhere. High plank pose. Mountain climbers. 4, 3, 2. Down dog or chaturanga dandasana. Hips up and back. Land in the breath. Take your right leg back again. 3-leg dog. Lift long. Step between your hands and find standing split. Transfer all of your weight forward. Lift left thigh and bow over right shin. Hold for 5. Lift your outer right hip crease. 4. Spiral both inner thighs behind you. 3, 2. Jiva squat on 1. Left knee nestles right behind right knee. Gaze forward. Send left leg high, standing split. Jiva squat, nestle that knee behind. You can do this with hands down or with no hands. One more time, Jiva squat. Lift. With hands on the mat, step all the way back to the rear of the mat, warrior two. All the way up and around. We got it. Nice job. Inhale, straighten front leg. Exhale, tick-tock over right hip. Triangle. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2. Left hand down to the mat. Gaze down to the big toe. Frame your right foot and step up about 12 inches with your left foot. Now, I have my back heel lifted because I've got a pretty big injury in my foot, so I can't flatten my foot. But go ahead here, pull your heart forward and long, and if it's there for you, open up into twisting triangle facing the right side of your mat. If that's not there for you today, just take that little hamstring stretch over the front thigh and you can keep your knee bent as much as you need to. Now drop your back heel on the angle, bring your right hand to the mat, come to warrior two. Inhale, settle on your exhale. Same leg is still bent. That's it, right leg, we're still in that right leg. Turn right toes forward. Take Skandasana to the back of your mat. Left knee bends. Take your right hand under right shoulder. Take left hand to low back or hip crease and spin chest towards the back of your mat or towards your left. Lift your hips and Skandasana to the front of your mat. Same thing. set up your side lunge first, and then take your left hand under shoulder, right hand to hip or low back, and twist to the front of your mat. Walk your body back to the rear of your mat and take 4 mountain climbers or twisting mountain climbers. 4, 3, 2, 1. Chaturanga, or just move into downward dog. Float your left leg long behind you. Inhale. Cheetah, Nita, nose, tuck in, tent. Inhale, left leg floats, hips are square. Exhale, cheetah, hold and hug, narrow your body. Kick your foot between your hands, boom. Warrior 2. Rise all the way up and around and land. Tick-tock. Up and around to the front of your mat, warrior 2. See if you can really settle into those hips. Nice, good opening warrior 2s. Front and back of your mat. Hug your sitting bones in. Pelvic floor is truly lifted here. One more, and we're gonna land at the back of our mat. The back of our mat. Big breath here. Settle on your exhale. Gaze right over left middle finger. Inhale. We're coming into side plank. We're gonna balance on the right arm. Cartwheel your hands down. Step back into high plank. And then spin both heels to right. Opening up into that good side plank variation. Stacking your feet. Now if you're on your knee with me, go ahead and hover. Hold for 10. 9. 8. Stay in your breath. Softness, steadiness as a dance. 3. Open your heart, stack your hips. 2. High plank, stay in the high plank. 4 mountain climbers or twisty mountain climbers. 3, 2, and 1. Chaturanga, or move into downward facing dog. Settle here. Lift your left leg long behind you. Step between your hands. We're going to find standing split. Standing split. Transfer the weight into the left foot and lift and float your right thigh high. Now you can always stay right here, yogis. You don't have to go anywhere. But otherwise, hug your sitting bones in and find that good mula bandha. Lift the pelvic floor. Pit of the belly comes in and up through the torso. Stay strong in your feet. Take 1 big breath. Jiva squat, right knee nestles behind left. Try to do this with no hands for a challenge. If you're thinking, what in the world, keep both hands on the floor. Jiva squat, right knee right behind left. Again, 1 more time. Jiva squat all the way down. Good. Send leg high. And then stretch right toes to the back of your mat. Find warrior 2. Up and around. We doing okay?
Whoa.
Can we make it? Hug it in. So push your feet down. Think about if you were holding on to everything you ever had with your feet. That's what you want to create. Inner heels draw towards each other, and then lift the stature of your body. Be strong and get low. That's it. Take a full breath. Tip back for peace. Up and over. And then we're going to tick-tock over that front thigh, straightening that front leg. Triangle pose. Really find the energy line. You have 1 energy line from the right shoulder down through the right hip, through the right heel. So make that firm. You have another energy line from the inner front heel up through the inner thigh and groin. You have another energy line from fingertips to fingertips. And another energy line from tailbone to crown. 2. Take your gaze down to the big toe. Take your right hand to the floor. Both hands frame your left foot and step up with your right foot just a little bit. Send your left hip crease up and around the body. So pull the left hip crease back, find space, and only if it's there for you, twist your triangle towards your left. Otherwise, stay folded over front thigh. Now gaze to front big toe, step all the way back, come right back into warrior two, full breath, settle on your exhale. We're on the same leg, left leg is bent. Skandasana to the front of your mat, tip back for peace, inhale. Skandasana takes us to the front of our mat, turn toes, sit back. Now, the option to take this really deep, drop that hip all the way to the heel, and find an inner twist now, taking right hand to inner toes, up and around with left shoulder, or even you can take that right hand forward of the shin bone, depending on how flexible you are. I'm not really going to do that today. Now inhale, no hands, push into the heel, draw the sitting bones behind you together, shift to the other side and get low. No tension in the knees. Our weight is back behind us. Left fingertips to left toes, open up, grow through the fingertips, crown of the head reaches forward, front of hips pull towards throat. Come back to center, no hands, crawl to the front of your mat. Take mountain climbers, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, chaturanga, or not, down dog. Somebody asked me for a chaturanga free class, just so as you know what I'm doing. Yogis, we're coming into crow or yoga squat or chair, right? Drop your heels back, push into your hands, and travel to the front of the mat. Halfway lift, and forward fold. For those of you who want more intensity, get into chair and hold it there. For those of you who want a little release, elbows to inner knees, land in oh so awesome yogi squat. And for those of you who want to play with your crow today, feet together, heels up, and press your heels together like you are holding a penny between them. Knees to upper outer arms, and wrap your knees around your upper arms and initiate this from the belly. Bring your elbows over your wrists, and this will feel like you're bringing your heart forward. Gaze forward, heart forward. And now from there, round the back just a little bit, but continue to pull heart forward. See if you can just float the toes off the mat. Hold for 3. Whoop. Hold for 2, and then you can step back and take a flow, or you can move right into high plank, 4 mountain climbers or cross mountain climbers, and move into downward dog. Right leg long behind you, step between your hands with your right foot. Look forward, step up with your left foot. Drop your butt and roll your body up to stand with a good foundation in the feet and open mountain pose. We're coming into Vrksasana, into tree. So in tree pose, take your hand behind your low back and make sure that your spine's not rotated right or left, right? So facing forward, just like this. Pull your right knee up, open the right knee, and place the heel on the upper inner thigh or down by the calf. So again, this is actually a really important functional movement. A lot of times to get there, people will kind of cock their lower back or torque their lower back. So you want to make sure to really hold maybe your hand there to help you know where your body is in space. Also, think about bringing your left glute under you, and it should give you a little lift there. And press your left inner thigh deeply into your heel and match that energy with your right heel. So there's just a lock there. Now hold that. Now be sturdy like the oak, and then grow your branches and be flexible in the upper body. Breathe. I hope everyone's doing okay today, having a great Friday. And one of the ways I can always check in with myself is that if I weren't thinking about the future, would my day be okay? And in fact, today it would be. Although I have managed to weirdly schedule myself like crazy throughout this little hiatus, I'm more busy now than I think I was before. Bring your hands into your heart and set your right foot down. Sweep arms overhead, big breath, sweep up. Now shifting over to the right leg as it stays on the mat, we're gonna lift the left thigh straight back for airplane. So hinge over for your airplane pose and keep your hips nice and square. So I'm gonna actually come right here so I can look at you and talk and not fall over. So the wall is great because you wanna take an open hip like you would go into half moon and drop that lifted leg hip down, and this will really strengthen your glutes in your outer seat. From there, you can sweep your arms back by your hips and find that airplane pose. Hold for 3. Hold for 2. I am really not balancing well today. And hold for 1. Slowly rise all the way up. Big breath. Reach your arms up overhead and forward fold all the way down. Lift halfway, inhale. Take a flow or take mountain climbers or take crow a second round. So if you want to try crow again, go ahead and come right back into your crow practice. Hug in, and then you can make your way into your high plank, move into your low plank, into your up dog, and into your down dog. Lift your left leg long behind you, inhale. Step between your hands, exhale. Look forward and find length. And then with a nice strong low back, step up with the right foot. Reach all the way overhead, extended mountain, and bring hands to heart center. Okay, find that good stable low back again. Lift your left leg, knee is parallel, thigh is parallel to floor, knee is at hip level. And then place heel on inner thigh or on calf. Now, I tend to shift forward with my left ribs. I really want to focus on rotating my torso back and then rotating my shoulders forward so that I come out of a rotated space and into a vertical neutral spine. Hands to heart. Find something not moving. I think that's my problem, is I can see myself all there. I've got all these screens. Open up your arms, lift and grow. And create that softness, that flexibility, that joy, that non-attachment to this pose. It does not matter if we fall. We just try again. Breathe deep. But one more breath. Feel your grounded energy. And then slowly release. Hands come to heart and foot comes to mat. Sweep all the way up. Big breath. We're coming to airplane. On exhale, we're going to transfer weight into left foot and send right heel back. I'm not going to turn my gaze. I'm just going to stay in my airplane so I don't fall over. Pull your ribs in. Pull the flesh of the heart forward and firm that right butt cheek. Hug the midline. Inner heel, inner thigh, narrow hips, narrow ribs, narrow shoulders, not narrow mind, broad mind. Breathe. Now lower right foot, inhale, chair pose, big breath. You'll take crow for a third time, or chair, or move right into high plank into mountain climbers. So yogi's choice here. If you're working on your core, go right into maybe 8 to 10 mountain climbers, working that good strength. And then everybody will meet in downward dog. Give your head a little turn from side to side. Let go of any tension, any thoughts, any patterns that block you from your strongest self, from your most compassionate self, from your highest self, even if it's just for this one breath, this one moment. Come forward into high plank. Push toes into the mat so far. If you were playing tug of war, it's happening with the strength of your toes pushing down. Like push, 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 and you'll feel your belly lift, and then lower your body to the floor. Flip your 10 toenails downward, and then find seal again. Find that big curling upward, broad chest. Take one breath. Float body down, send arms back, find locust. So in locust, our gaze is down, our legs are high, our shoulders are high, but our hips are down. Our gaze is down so that the neck is really long and the belly is really firm. Push your hips down so much that you feel your abs work, your front abs, you're the front belly. And release. That's really hard if you do it right. Do it one more time. Lift up for locust pose. Float. See if you can float. Now, with all of your might in that grounded pelvis, take your hands, lay your right hand over your left, and press your knuckles into your forehead. Now hold there. Lift the elbows, lift the feet. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, karate chop your way back to locust. Arms open wide, lift the torso, bring arms right back up, left hand over right, knuckles into forehead, elbows up, hold for 5, stay in it. 4, lift the belly button. 3, narrow your hips. 2, hands under shoulders, push into child's pose. Come all the way back forward into modified plank and lower your belly to the mat. Left hand moves into a T position and gaze goes right. Take your body and roll it onto your, what hip is that? Left hip. You can tell I've been doing yoga. I can't think of words. And then you're going to take your right toes as high up to the left fingers as you can. Open in for scorpion variation of your clock pose. If that doesn't feel good, don't do it. You don't have to bring the leg behind you. You can keep it stacked. Now, if you are in the scorpion, tuck your tailbone, squeeze your outer right seat, and peel your right knee open so that the kneecap is trying to face the sky. Push into your bottom hip a lot. And then roll back to belly and rest. Right hand to the right, left hand goes to either low back. Find that scorpion variation. And once again, find that good space in your body. Use your left seat to peel that knee open. You'll probably find or notice that there's a pretty big difference between right and left. Push your bottom hip deeply into the mat. And then roll back to belly. High plank, down dog. Walk forward, to the top of your mat. Cross at your shins and gently have a seat. Now we're going to lean back. So I'm going to do this because it's not pretty and most of us are blacked out, so it's cool. You're going to lean back here. Your fingers are just going to point either to the sides or behind you, and you're going to find a soft elbow because you're going to need to lean back into your arms. If your elbows are locked, you'll typically close off the neck. So you want to depress your scapula or pack your shoulders, for those of you who are with me this morning. Now from here, walk your feet in and see if you can lift your shins. Draw out of the shoulders, and right here, you can either toe tap and march your feet, or you can send legs long. So hover or just send the toes towards the ceiling. This is pretty tough. So we're just gonna go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. One for bonus, and take the feet to the floor. Roll all the way down. Let's see, I'm very tangled up in the cord. Okay, from here, we're gonna take our right ankle over our left knee. We're gonna put our left hand behind our head, and we're gonna just tap up with the left elbow to right knee. Come all the way up. And you're gonna do this about 10 times. Lift, lower, lift, lower, lift, lower. 3, 2, one more, and release all the way over to the left with the flat end of your right foot. So you come into that little twist. Take your arms out to a T shape and just rest. If you press your ankle and your knee together a little bit, you'll feel maybe a deeper sensation in this pose. And then rise all the way up with your legs and cross the other way. So this is a great way to train our core and train our movement in different leg positions. So left arm out and just lift, and you can make really big sounds if you need to. You can use your left arm as leverage. We're just going to try to take our elbow all the way up to our knee, so we're not cheating here, and moving our low body towards our elbow. I think we have 2 more. 1 and 2. Come all the way down, TV arms, and then lay both legs to the left. Settle into your twist. Bring your knees back to face the ceiling, feet are hips distance apart. Pull your feet in close to your bum and then lift your hips for bridge. You're gonna walk your hands under your back, interlace your fingers, and then send the hips as high as you can. Gaze goes right towards the ceiling. Try to avoid letting your feet splay out. Stay grounded in all your toes and push your hips up evenly. Now breathe across the chest. Hold for 3. Hold for 2. And on 1, you'll lift your heels, release your arms, and articulate your spine down bone by bone. Now you'll go into wheel pose here if you have that in your practice, or you'll lift for 1 more bridge. And on this bridge, bring your feet under you a little more and see if you can grab the front of your ankles and send your hips high. Hold for 5. Push into your foot pad. 4, 3, 2, big belly breath here. And 1 more. Release, lift heels, and roll down. Very good. Hug knees to chest very carefully and give yourself a baby rock right to left. Outer feet, happy baby. We've broken our rule of doing only happy baby in the confines of our yoga studio. But if you are in happy baby, draw your knees towards the mat, push into the ball of the foot of your big toe and the inner heel. That'll change the sensation of this pose. And then roll your inner thighs towards the ceiling and draw your knees towards the floor more. So there's an active happy baby there. Good. And then bring the thighs together and send left leg to left, right leg straight. Grip your right big toe, and if this is not there for you because you're tight in your hamstrings, grab behind your thigh. And if the knee needs to be bent, that's totally okay. Hold for 3. If you're bendy and you've got this pretty cool, then go ahead and take forehead to knee. Hold for 2. Now everybody very carefully either bend your leg or keep it straight. Take your leg out to the right. You can take the foot to the floor if you need to. You can also keep a hold of that big toe and push through that inner heel, maintaining a neutral ankle. Bring that leg back to center, bent or straight, yogis. Left hand to outer knee or outer foot. Ooh, this one's a deep one. And then send your leg across the body. Turn your gaze over right shoulder. The sky is so nice and blue today. So pretty out. Come back to neutral spine, hug the thigh in, and send right leg to mat. We are almost ready to close our class. If you can, please stay with me. Hug knees to chest. And then send that left leg long. Send the left leg long. Again, fingers grip big toes. You can also grab behind your thigh and just breathe here into your outer hamstring, your inner hamstring. And then gently with a bent leg or a straight leg, take your thigh open to the left. Hug your sitting bones in a little more and keep pressing your right heel into the floor. And then bring leg back to center with bent knee or straight leg. Take a twist across your body. Your right hand grips the outer knee or grips the outer foot like I'm showing. And then breathe. Gently bend your knee, bring your body back to center. Take your left hand to your heart, take your right hand to your belly and close your eyes. And you'll take one cycle of breath here before straightening your legs and moving into Shavasana.